What's up, everybody? I'm back. I'm doing a little video just on let's not forget, we all have a little bit of recency bias, so let me remind you what has happened and what's about to happen. But before we do that, check out EBC Brakes. My friends over at EBC Brakes, Steve, James, Robert, they're good people and they're on board with the podcast. They like the Cooksey Mob, so make sure you give those guys a shout out. Go follow them on Instagram. And then if you want to get in shape, hit up Coach Rob Beams. Coach uses a scientific method. He has something for everybody starting at around 20 bucks a month. Check out Coach's programs. And he's introducing a new program. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it yet, but he'll be doing some blood work moving forward where he can really even get more scientific and have you at your personal peak. So I don't know if I was supposed to say that, but I said it anyway. So it is what it is. Sorry, Coach. And I'm also at the Epic Garage Designs. I'm here at the studio today shooting a video. Don't forget, we are giving away another Moto Tracks. And hey, guess what? If you don't need Moto Tracks, we got these really cool wall overhead racks. They're so badass. They'll clean up your garage. They'll get your storage out of the way. Even if you just want to put a gear bag up on one. They hold a couple 100 pounds. I mean, I'm 230 and I can hang off the rack and it goes nowhere. So yeah, check those guys out, Epic Garage Designs. All you have to do is go to the Epic Garage Designs YouTube page. And I'll put at the end of this video, when they do suggestions, I'll have the video there. I took a bunch of nuts and bolts and threw them down on the Epic Tracks, which is the flooring, just to show you what it's like if you drop those so you realize you're not going to lose your nuts and bolts. It's actually easier to pick up than on a regular floor. So comment on that video and you are entered to win either a rack or tracks, whatever you want in December. So make sure you do that and subscribe to the channel. So, all right, guys. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I hate having to do this. It's so lame. But if I don't, I notice the subscribers don't go up. Almost 75% of the viewers of my videos are not subscribed. If you are subscribed, I'm sorry you have to do this. Blame the non-subscribers. But if I don't remind everybody, people don't subscribe and the subscriptions don't go up. So anyway, guys, without further ado, let's remind you what's going on.
I'm in the empire business.
Everybody love everybody!
You all know exactly who I am.
All right, guys, in this off season of Ken Roczen, he stole all the headlines. We've all kind of forgot that everybody else is still pretty goddamn good. He won last year, coming in under the radar, supposedly sick. We weren't supposed to, but then quickly the wheels came off. He had a big crash in Oakland, and it was just never the same. Like that was it for Ken Roczen, and he never really recovered until the off season when he was riding the Firepower Honda, which is what I thought he was going to go to after I realized the Yamaha deal wasn't going to go through. He ended up going with the Suzuki. And a lot of you guys are hammering me in the comments telling me I don't know what I'm talking about and he's going to be fine on the Suzuki as long as he feels comfortable. Yes, to a point. The Suzuki and Larry Brooks, and that's something I kind of did overlook, guys. I forgot Larry Brooks is on that team. And Larry Brooks would literally lay his mother down underneath Ken Roczen on the starting line if it gave better traction and gave a better chance of winning. Larry Brooks will do anything to win. And he's one of those guys where if you have to compete against him, you hate him. He's horrible. But if he's on your team, it sure is nice to have a guy willing to do anything above and beyond to make sure you're successful. Yeah, it's nice to have him on there. But it's still a Suzuki. It's a kickstart bike. It's outdated. I mean, he's going against Eli Tomac, who just had that phenomenal season. He's going against Jason Anderson, who won so many races last year and is so good at Anaheim and these other races. He's also going against a hungry Chase Sexton, who is so fast, who's literally the guy who, my brother, Curtis, he's a former racer, kart racer, like he's got a ton of experience. He's convinced that the reason he didn't want to sign with Honda is he doesn't like being in the same pits and being number 2 and second fiddle to Chase Sexton. And I don't completely disagree. I think that's part of the reason he didn't sign that deal, because it was a very lucrative deal, not only the World Supercross issue, but then it gets him away from Chase Sexton. Yeah, so maybe he did run from Sexton a little bit, but Sexton is going to be fast. So there's 3 guys. That doesn't mean Ken's not super talented, and on that Suzuki, he'll be competitive. He will be a top 5 guy, and I think he'll get some podiums and maybe even a win, but he is not a title threat. He is not, nobody, if he wins this title, it'll be the upset of the century. Had he been on the Firepower Honda, I wouldn't say that. I would say I would put him as a title contender. Being on the Suzuki, he has taken himself out of that conversation and he's lowered the bar, which maybe that's what he wanted. Maybe he wanted a lower bar. Maybe he didn't want the pressure of being a championship contender. Maybe he just wanted to be a guy. And that's what he is a guy. It's great for the Suzuki team, but it's not something that's going to get him in the record books. Christian Craig, on the other hand, everybody forgets how fast he was because he went out like a lamb in the 250 class because he damn near choked and Hunter beat him. But don't forget, those first couple races in Anaheim, he was going through the whoops better than almost all the 450 guys. He hits whoops, those slick, big, scary Anaheim whoops like nobody I've ever seen, including his teammate Malcolm Stewart. My only question with those guys is that bike, that chassis going to work? They had issues in the whoops. If Christian Craig can't get through the whoops on that bike, throw it away. Throw it away. It's not any of the riders. Nobody on earth will be able to get through the whoops if Christian Craig and Malcolm Stewart can't get through the whoops on that bike. But we're going to find out real quick. I mean, if they can't do it in Anaheim, we'll know. I, on the other hand, I look for Christian Craig to win Anaheim. That's my outside pick. Nobody's talking about him. He's so talented. He gets a good start and hits the whoops. That it could be his night. Do I pick him as a title contender? No, he's already proven mentally when it comes down to it, he chokes, but he's going to be there on certain nights. And I think what other people are overlooking is what he wants to do in the 450. Christian is his dad, Mike Craig, super fast, very talented, very similar on the track. Off the track, unfortunately, Mike Craig was kind of a mess. He was part of that 90s party generation. And it hasn't gone well, and his relationship with his dad isn't real well. But his dad never got the 125 or 250 title. Christian did that last year. Now he's in the 450 class. His dad has a win. I would say Christian's goal is probably to get at least 2 wins and one up his dad. Whether we admit it or not, every one of us deep inside, no matter how much respect or hatred we have for our parents, there's this deep desire to do better than they did. And I really look for Christian. Christian's going to get a win in this class before it's all said and done. And I think he's going to get 2, and I think he will pass up his dad. And I think he's going to get number 1 at Anaheim, guys. And also, hats off to the Lawrence brothers, Team Honda, and a lot of these teams. Any team who's announced which coast you're going on, thank you. Mitch Payton and your team, fuck off. Like, really? You really think it's like this secret thing? Now I just don't know who to talk about. So I am no longer mentioning anyone from the Pro Circuit team until they decide which coast they're going on. And I really want to talk about a couple of their guys because they got some really good stories over there. But guess what? I'm boycotting them. I'd rather talk about, there's actually some rumors that Hayden Deegan might step up to Supercross. I think that's just a little bit of talk, but when you go to the track and he's riding against guys like Levi Kitchen, Justin Cooper, and some of these guys, and he's going just as fast, it's tempting. It's really tempting. Do we put Hayden in there? It wouldn't be the worst move in the world. I think you wait another year, let him get his Supercross futures, let him dominate, and let him come in the year after. Last thing you want to do is put him up against Jet and have him go out there. And worse than going out there and going fast and getting hurt is what if he chokes and doesn't do well and, bring him up slow. There's plenty of time, especially with guys racing into their 30s. I want Hayden Deegan to be around for a long time. He is amazing talent. Yes, all you guys think I'm a hater. I'm not. I actually love the way that they've come in and they provide a villain and they provide somebody to talk about, and I appreciate that. So while I might not say always nice things about the Deegan family and Brian in particular, I also respect and appreciate that they're going to be a part of this sport. So anyway, guys, that's it for this video. And one other thing, AC. I saw his interview with Steve Mathis. That was one of the saddest Adam Cianciarulo interviews I've ever heard. He sounds deflated. I love how they fake joked about the retirement thing that actually is a real conversation. Steve knows the same people inside the inner circle that I do, and I'm sure he got it from the same person I did, that after his hand went numb, Adam had a moment where he was going to retire. Was he serious? Who knows? Was it just the first day out and you get bummed out in one of those moments? Probably. None of us want to see him retire. He's one of the ambassadors for the sport. He's great for the sport, but him being silent speaks volumes about what's going on in him and his career. The fact that he has just buttoned up, and Adam is clearly hiding something. There's no chance this guy would go into hiding like this if he wasn't trying to work through something mentally. There's some serious demons in there, and I really hope he overcomes them. I don't know that he will, but man, just so you guys know, I'm an Adam Cianciarulo fan, and I'm pulling for him, and I hope he doesn't retire. And even if he does, he'll be around this sport in some capacity, because he is motocross. Like, he's so well-spoken. He's open. Other than this offseason, every other offseason, every other part of his career, he'll tell you what's going on. Probably so much so that his teams are like, shut up. But that's what this sport needs right now. We need more of Adam Cianciarulo, not less. So let's hope he gets it together. So thanks, guys. I'll catch you later.